Okay. It looks like we are live. So let's do this. Hello. How is everyone doing? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jason Levine, and it's great to be back on the live stream today with you, back from AdobeMAX in LA last week. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Always great to see you. And today's live stream is going to be talking about a new Adobe Sensei powered incredible feature in Premiere Pro called Auto-Reframe, which allows you to automatically repurpose your content for any size screen, any aspect ratio. It's super awesome. So as always, I'm going to show you this stuff. Got a couple hellos here in the chat. I've got Marco Lopez, Sarah Smile, Mo Kariba, Shannon Appleby from Iowa. How are you doing? Matthew Grant. Keep doing me. Thank you very much. Philip Acker, how you doing? Khalid from Egypt. Nice to see you. Bruce Johnson. It has been a while. All that Max prep, it takes months and months and months. Anissa, how are you doing? Coming to us on Behance. So yes, today we are once again back on the multicast. So if you're joining us on Twitter, Periscope, Behance, YouTube, or Facebook, thank you so much for joining. What's up? Dublu Gru on the YouTubes. All right, so lots of chats to monitor here, but I figure it's probably a good idea to just get right into it. A couple last hellos here. Rafal, Roberta Sabag, hello. Seth, Joelle Lee, yo. Robert Sanders, very nice. Thank you very much. Frank Giava, Rafal, Carl, Firas, Neil, Marius. Oh, so many people here today. Ali Hussein. All right. Noel from the Philippines. Vanessa, how's it going from Boca Raton? Anthony, awesome lighting. Thank you. Michelle, Kinraid, great to see you. All right. Viloria, Siddharth, Aya Anan from Tunisia. All right. Incredibly international audience. Always so lovely. And of course, to everyone on Periscope. Timo, Parasita, and Felix, great to see you. All right. So let's go ahead and switch over and let's get started here. All right. It's been a while. I'm rusty in my switching capabilities. Max takes so many months to prep, and I couldn't talk about so many things for so long. I wanted to share Illustrator coming to the iPad and all this cool stuff, but it's great to be back. All right, so here we are in Premiere Pro. Once again, we're going to talk about Auto-Reframe, and the amazing thing about this is that it's going to allow you to take any content that you have, and if you need to repurpose this for social, right? You've got this widescreen video like we see here, and I now want to use this and publish it to TikTok or to Instagram or as an Instagram story or in some kind of vertical aspect or in Square or in a custom aspect. Right now, Facebook 5x4 is kind of the new standard. What do? I mean, today, as of a week ago, you had to go in and kind of reframe your content because unless everything is always in the center of the frame, which it typically is not, it was a lot of manual work to get that done. So let's take a quick look at this, the original here. This is some content that you've heard before. This is a short film called See You Around, directed by Oren Brimmer. It's on Vimeo. And let's take just a quick look at the original version of this. All right, here we go.
Hi. I'd like to get a drink, please.
Okay.
Great. I'd like an elderberry liqueur.
Oh, actually, we don't have that.
I've been here before, and I've definitely had it here, so you...
Oh.
Okay. I love stopping on that frame. All right. So again, what's kind of interesting about this, I'm just going to drop the volume here for a second. This particular video, of course, is that you've got moments where we've got some rack focusing, right? It's on him, and then the camera pans, and then it's on her, focusing on her. Then we've got the camera, again, kind of moving laterally as he slides into the scene. She's all the way on the right side of the frame. He's back there on the left. So there's a lot of movement. So if I wanted to repurpose this for vertical today, right now, without doing anything, I'd have to come in here and reframe all of these clips so that the action is in the center. Well, this is exactly the problem that Auto-Reframe solves. Nothing cooked here, nothing baked. You're going to see what it does via Adobe Sensei. It's going to automatically scan the footage, analyze the content, look at faces, look at region of interest, look at motion, and then try and figure out the best way to keep the action in the center. All right, so let's just do it, and then we'll kind of get into what it does and how you can make changes if need be. All right, so let me see. I've already got one here that I did earlier. Let's go ahead. So here's our master sequence. It's called Essential Sound Panel Before. All right, let's go ahead and right-click on this, and we're going to choose Auto-Reframe Sequence. Now, it's worth pointing out that I would typically recommend doing this at the sequence level, because then it's going to tackle each clip individually, scan each of them individually, and the speed at which this processes is pretty crazy. This is only about 1.5 minutes long here, but it's pretty darn fast. You can also add it as an effect to a clip if you've already sort of copied footage over to a new sequence in a different aspect ratio, and then reframe it after the fact and do the analysis there. So let's go ahead and select Auto-Reframe Sequence. When you do this, it asks you to give it a name, so it'll populate one automatically. So let's just call this bar scene before, 1:1. And then you can choose your aspect ratio. Now, by default, we give you 4. Square, vertical 4:5, 9:16, horizontal 16:9. It's also worth pointing out, can you take vertical content and repurpose it in horizontal? Yes, Auto-Reframe will do that. It'll reframe anything from any aspect to any aspect. Would I typically recommend reframing vertical for horizontal? Probably not. It's going to be a little challenging, but this will do it, okay? Now, if you don't see the aspect ratio that you want, of course, you can also choose custom. And when you do that, you just enter in that specific ratio. So as mentioned, if we wanted to do Facebook, 5:4, which is kind of becoming their new video standard, that's how you do that. In this case, though, I want to go to a vertical 9:16, either for Instagram, maybe for TikTok, again, something else that we announced, direct TikTok publishing, right from Premiere Rush, which is awesome. You've got some motion presets here. Now, in this case, because it's sort of film, episodic stuff going on, the motion is, I'm using the default. I'll show you another example before. We've got the skier that I showed at Max. You can mess about with this. Amazingly, the default usually works. If you've got really fast motion, I highly recommend using faster motion. But in general, the default setting actually really does it. Now, we don't have a lot of nesting going on here, but this is something you need to be aware of. If you've got clips that are nested and coming from like a multicam environment, it understands what to do with this, and you can see you've got 2 options there. We don't have any nesting. We don't have any need for that. We're just going to keep the clips as they are, and you'll see it'll replace your current motion adjustments, all right? Vertical 9:16, default, named, click create, and go. It's already created it. All right. Now, it might still be analyzing some of the clips later on in the timeline, but it's already built the sequence. And you can see that we're in a new sequence that it made for us because this one is called bar scene before, just like I said. Okay. Oh, and I don't know why. It kept the 1:1 because I edited the text. I should have just put 9:16 in there. All right. Here we are in vertical. Let's play and see what it did. And here I'm going to raise the master so we've got audio again. Let's take a quick look and a listen. Here we go. Okay, so right away, this is the magic of Auto-Reframe. Did you see what it did there? So, and hold on, I'm just going to pull the audio down so I'm not scrubbing it. And if we click on this clip and go into the effects controls, sorry, not the effects, I want effects controls, what you will see, again, if you highlight motion, you can see the bounding box here, the motion box. You can see all the keyframes. What did Sensei do? Okay, it sensed at the beginning, he's in focus. He's all the way on the left side of the frame. Let's keep it on him. All right? And then it rack focuses to the bartender, and look at what it did. You can actually see the blue bounding box move. It moved the camera over to her. What? Because that's the region of interest for that moment when we focused in on her. This is crazy. All right? Is it always going to get it right? No. I think the next shot, it's been having some trouble. Maybe it didn't do that one quite perfectly. But it's moving wherever the action happens. All right? Now, as mentioned, you can see all of the keyframes up here. My UI is very squished at the moment. But these are all of the motion keyframes. And by the way, if you didn't notice as we were scrubbing through, you can see the position, right? The left-right position of the frame moving and being keyframed accordingly here. So Sensei did all of this on the fly, all right? So let's keep on watching. All right, I'll turn the audio back on as well. Okay, here we go.
yeah, hi. I'd like to get a drink, please.
Okay, so now on this particular one, it did a pretty good job of following him, all right? It's a little deceptive because then the other guy comes in and sneaks up, and it didn't quite get there fast enough. So this is a case where we might want to edit those keyframes. Let's keep playing.
Get a drink, please.
Okay.
Great. I'd like an elderberry.
Okay, beautifully framed on our annoying bar patron right here. That actually happens to be the director. He's a super cool guy.
Oh, actually, we don't have that.
I've been here before, and I've definitely had it here, so
All right. Again, I just want to talk a bit about AI, right? Look, it's an engine, right? It's an artificial intelligence algorithm. And when he's saying some stuff here,
before, and I've definitely had it here, so
but he's suddenly making this like face, it somehow decided, yeah, we should pan over to that guy because that's a region of interest. And look, it's just a couple of keyframes. Face. It might not be what you want exactly. It's just showing you how this is there's some real intelligence behind this. Now, you may not have made that call when you did it manually. The idea here is that, oh, shoot, what just happened? All right, Jeffrey, Wesley. All right, H2. Okay, hey, do me a favor. If you're in the various chats, Jim, okay, thanks. Tell me, I'm assuming, I'm seeing it on Periscope. We just lost Facebook here. Arg. Facebook died. But it looks like it's everywhere else. Still live on Twitter. Okay, that's good. Still live on Behance, it appears. Okay, I'm live on YouTube. I don't know what just happened on Facebook. It had enough, apparently. All right. Well, that's all she wrote there. I can't restart Facebook, unfortunately, so we're just going to have to go with it. Okay, let's continue on for those still with us here on YouTube and Twitter, Periscope. Okay, good on YouTube. Thank you, Stacy. Okay, so again, talking about intelligence, talking about how awesome it is that this decided to move and do its thing. It's incredibly impressive, okay? Now, as mentioned, you have full editability of all of this. That's kind of the brilliance with this process. So in the case of this one where right about here, this is where effectively we should keyframe it over to the other guy. I'm going to erase these keyframes. All right. Let's get rid of these. And then right here, let's start moving it a little. And let's do something like that. And maybe we'll have it ease in a little. Something like this. And have it ease in. All right. So now take a look at this clip.
Hi, yeah, hi. I'd like to get a drink, please.
Okay. I mean, something that, you know, again, we do manually, clip by clip, real pain, real tedious. Auto-Reframe is now taking care of all of this for you. All right. This is amazing. This is an incredible time saver. And by the way, you can create multiple versions from your master here. So that's our 9x16, right? Let's go ahead and do another auto-reframe on the original. And let's just do a square one. Or, yeah, why don't we just do square? Just like totally different aspect ratio. All right, click create. It does the analysis again. Now you can see we're square. All right, let's take a look at this one real quickly. All right. We don't need the audio on here. It's still down in the master. Okay, you can turn it on if you like.
Hi, yeah, hi. I'd like to get a drink, please.
Oh, look at that. So in the square version, Sensei went, oh, you know what? That's the guy talking over there. And it caught him just before the cut.
Hi, yeah, hi. I'd like to get a drink.
And what's cool about that, hold on a second. I mean, honestly, if this is not blowing your mind, it's blowing my mind. What's amazing is it also caught our sort of main character's reaction as he's being interrupted. Look, he gives him this, like, what the? He's giving him the stink eye look. Nothing square. Thank you, Tomahawk. Nothing square about me. But this is sick. Like, I don't even understand how this is happening.
Hi, yeah, hi. I'd like to get a drink, please.
Okay.
Great. I'd like an elderberry liqueur.
Oh, actually, we don't have that.
I've been here before, and I've definitely had it here, so
Oh.
Okay. Wow, something's happening here. I don't know. Everybody's still good on YouTube? Okay, yeah, we're still on Periscope, and we're still on Behance. Yeah, it's all still moving. Still here, Anissa. Okay, thank you. All right, so again, simple, and it works just as expected, okay? So this is the clip that I showed at Max, right? We've got our skier here, and again, we might want to repurpose this for some kind of vertical view. So we'll come up here, auto-reframe. Let's auto-reframe the sequence. Let's do it in a 9, sorry, not a 16, 9, a 9 by 16. Click Create. It does the analysis. Take a sip of water here. And it's done, okay? God, hold on. Okay, so here's our vertical version of our skier. Again, keeping all the action right in the center. All right, now if I want to further work on this in After Effects or do something to it in After Effects, if I right-click on the clip here and choose to replace with an After Effects comp, right? What this will do is it's going to build a new composition in After Effects for us. And the cool thing is that it's going to preserve those auto-reframe keyframes. And we'll call this AFR or ARF01. Stick it on the desktop. Okay. Builds it out for us. And there you can already see. So I'm going to click on the clip inside of our inside of the timeline here, inside of the comp panel. UU revealing all the keyframes. You can see them here on the left. They're position keyframes. And just as in Premiere Pro, as I scrub through it, you're seeing all the keyframed motion that Sensei did. So you still have access to all of it fully editable in After Effects. Similarly, if you were to build something in After Effects, and then you wanted to say, run auto-reframe in Premiere, you can go the opposite way via dynamic link, right? So you can either drag, and I've already got the direction happening here. You can only use one direction of dynamic link at a time. So right now we're going from Premiere to After Effects. If I was natively in After Effects working on something and wanted to reframe it, but be able to keep working in After Effects, I can just take the sequence like this, and I can literally drag it into the project panel of Premiere. I'm not going to do that here because they're already linked, and establish the dynamic link in the other direction. Run auto-reframe on the footage. When I click back to After Effects, all of those motion keyframes will be there. All right, super awesome, really easy. Just wonderful. So you can use auto-reframe with After Effects. There have been some questions about doing it with motion graphics, and from some of my friends in the MoGraph community, I don't know if you want Sensei figuring out how you want your motion graphics to be redisplayed in new aspects. That stuff you're probably going to want to do manually. Give it a shot. I can't say I've done much testing with it myself, but that's the kind of thing where you probably want to do more manual adjustments with that. But the footage itself, let Sensei do the work, the heavy lifting for you, and it's pretty stunning, really quite stellar. All right, and that, my friends, is auto-reframe in Premiere Pro. It's simple, it's easy, it's magical. It just kind of works, and it saves you an enormous amount of time if you're repurposing your content going to social, whether it's, again, if you're doing square, if you're doing vertical, if you're doing a custom aspect, repurposing for YouTube or Facebook, wherever. It's just awesome. All right. All right. So let's go quickly. I'm just going to switch over my screen, and we'll go over to the chat and see if there's any additional questions. And if not, I'm going to leave you. Sorry for those of you whom I lost on Facebook today. Lots of you in the room. I don't know what happened, but that sometimes happens. Okay. So coming to you from YouTube. Let's see what we got here. All right, Wesley Jones, that's amazing. Thank you. All right. Okay. Voodoo says WHRO. So true. Rand MK. Yes, I don't know what happened on Facebook. It just killed the feed for some reason. All right. left edit. Are the keyframes not? No, the keyframes are fully accessible in Premiere. So as I showed you, you may have just missed it when I switched over to them. All of the motion keyframes for the reframed version are also accessible. So you have everything available to you under the effects controls, all right, in both. So it's really simple. All right. Okay, Z3AP. Yep, time to see the VOD. That's right. Okay. Sergey, great work. Oh, thanks. Aunt Pruitt, makes sense. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, honestly, and that video, that was something that was cut, the bar scene there from See You Run, that was cut several years ago. So there, again, I didn't do anything to doctor it up or to make it work. Here, in fact, look, I was going to show you, let me see, I'll pull up one more example real quickly, just so you can also see the keyframes here. Let me close everything and then I'll reopen. This was on something where there's no people. So this was a bit more challenging, but there was motion in it. So here, let me switch my screen back over again. All right. Okay, yes. All right. So this is that little vinyl documentary that some of you have seen me working on in the past. And so, again, this, no people, just lots of gear and, you know, mostly centered, but a lot of off-center and, you know, where are you going to, how are you going to frame this? What's it going to do? So this is sort of a great example of showcasing just the speed of using Auto-Reframe for something that, you know, if you had to do it all manually would take a lot more time. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. So this is called Test Grade Close-Up Stylus. So let's just find the master sequence. It is right here. So again, I can do right-click, Auto-Reframe Sequence. And maybe for this one, maybe let's do square. All right, why not? Because the frames are so wide and there's a lot of action. Just to show you different options. It doesn't matter. Again, we can customize this any way that we want. I'll use the default motion preset again. Let's go ahead and click Create here. All right. Now it's already just built our square version. Okay. And if we start right here, so again, minimal keyframing there. All right. So again, here, because the focus was largely on the center of the turntable, that's where it kind of thought the action was, because I'm doing a rack focus to that. So Sensei thought, okay, that's where we want it. Now you can see it did some keyframing in here, right? But we probably want it to move over once that rack focus happens to about here. So we can do that. All right, and I'll put it a little ease in here. I mean, this is kind of the brilliance of having fully editable keyframes with Sensei. Boom, there we go, okay? Let's go to the next one. Here we go. Wonderful, kept us right in the center with that one. Nice. Now again, I had some crazy motion on this particular clip, right? I was kind of moving around the record. So if I click on that clip, you can see it did quite a bit of keyframing. And again, if I highlight motion, this will show you what it was doing to keep that stylus in frame. Not a significant amount of movement, but just keeping it in line with staying in that center of the frame, okay? Super cool. Next shot, okay? This one, all right, maybe it's a little artistic, kind of cut off the edge of that. It didn't really know what to do, but we're seeing all that text. And if you look at this shot, this is actually the in focus region in the shot. So Sensei detected that as, sharp focus region of interest. That's right there, right? Makes sense. I mean, if you're thinking like how an AI engine would function, kind of makes sense to me, right? Okay. Another one. Now this one, it didn't quite know what to do with that, so it left us in kind of a widescreen aspect here. So in this case, you know, we'd probably do some rescaling on this. Oh, and I'm actually on the wrong clip here. Let's do this one. To frame this up like that and move this over. Okay. So, you know, it's an AI engine. It's not going to get it right all the time. All right. This one, though, perfect, beautiful, right in the center. And let's see what it did with this, with the tone arm, if it moves with the tone arm. All right, and it didn't quite catch the release. Okay, so again, it looks like it started to move a little, but I want it to move a little bit more. So this is where I would add another keyframe here. All right. Oh, I'm on the scratches. I'm not on the right one. Let's add another keyframe here. Let's move it over. Gonna get rid of these other ones. Get rid of those. All right, and maybe we do a little temporal interpolation, so it's a little smoother. All right. Bzz. Okay, that was kind of fast. Now it's going to flip back to the other one. Nice. Right? Super cool. And still kind of artistic. I don't, my motion is not super smooth. But you get the idea. Okay? So this is just such an amazing feature, incredible time saver. You know, if you're doing short videos in particular and you've got lots of cuts, this is going to save you such an enormous amount of time. All right. Back over to the chats for a second. Pedro, how's it going? Thank you very much. Wesley, if you need to warp stabilize, should you do it before reframing or after? A bunch of these clips have stabilization on them, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. If the stabilization is affecting sort of what would be obvious to the algorithm to kind of detect where the region of interest is, then yeah, I would stabilize ahead of time. I'd play around with it really, but in general, like these shots, because they were all handheld, I had stabilization on some of them in advance, and then it did its thing. Yeah. Awesome. Rand, looking forward to trying it with videos of a 6-piece band. Yes, very cool. What's up, Pierre Julien? All right. Left edit. Anything about their new project sharing features they are developing? Nothing I can share just yet, but it's some stuff that we talked about at IBC as well, so stay tuned for that. Okay. All right, and that looks like all the questions we have. Nothing coming to us over here on Twitter Periscope. And let's see if we've got anything else over in Behance. Nope, just Anissa. All right. All right, everyone. Well, that's it for today. So thank you so much for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. Of course, you'll be able to watch the replay on YouTube for the full replay, Twitter Periscope, and Behance. Sorry for those of you who had to, where it dropped off on Facebook. Not sure what happened there, but we'll give it a shot again tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, probably showcasing some audio workflows and maybe a couple of new things in Audition. So until then, have a great rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, day, or night, wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.